It starts with our idol-loving protagonist attending a concert. While filming a fan cam, he got interviewed and made a joke that caused a misunderstanding that he is a pedophile. 3 years later, Jin-kyung got diagnosed with social anxiety and panic disorder and became an anime addict instead. Just then, he notices a mosquito, and he picks up a bug spray can. He acts like he is casting magic and kills the mosquito. Just then, a flash of light appears, and he disappears. He finds himself falling from the sky and lands in a field where a girl exclaims that she succeeded in summoning. The girl bows to Jin-kyung and asks for his name. Confused, he mentions that he is a YouTuber, but the girl mishears it as YouTuber. The girl asks Jin-kyung to kill the ginormous monster behind him that resembles a moth. Jin-kyung got confused and wondered how he was going to kill it. He thinks everything that is happening is just a dream because he is not getting panic attacks while talking to the girl. He trusts that this is just a fantasy world in his dream, and he recites magic he knows from anime and uses the bug spray. But it looks like nothing is happening, and the girl feels embarrassed for him. Just then, the giant mosquito explodes into pieces. The girl gets surprised, while Jin-kyung breaks into a cold sweat. This is the first time she has come across such a strong spell, and as an apprentice, she is not supposed to summon such a strong summon. She thanks Jin-kyung and asks if he is a wizard, to which he just agrees. She introduces herself as Manhwa, an apprentice summoner, and asks if she can summon him again. Jin-kyung mishears her name as Minor, triggering his trauma. Jin-kyung exclaims that he will call her I-chan instead. Jin-kyung claims he can't dream the same thing again, so he might not meet her again. Mana got sad, and she thinks she was just lucky this one time to summon someone powerful. Mana smiles and casts a spell to send Jin-kyung back, but he notices something on the spell's last part. Just then, he is back in his room. He noticed the Made in Japan phrase from the spell and thinks it was really a dream. But he noticed how tired he was despite sleeping. He goes back to sleep, and when he wakes up, he notices leaves on his feet. Meanwhile, his parents are in the living room. His mother worries that Jin-kyung didn't eat and his father goes out to smoke and calls Jin-kyung trash. Jin-kyung tries to avoid his parents because he knows how they will react. He notices his computer is on, and he reboots it, but he suddenly disappears. He sees himself falling again from the skies. Meanwhile, Mana meets with Jake and Alira. Mana reports that their village is swarmed with demons. Jake wonders how Mana got to them so fast, knowing that there was a giant moth on the way. She claims that it just disappeared. They hear a sound, and Jake explains that the Fallen are coming. The Fallen are humans punished by the Mountain's master by branding because of their greed and damage to the mountains. Just then, Mana asks what happens if a summon causes damage in the mountains. Jake explains that the Mountain's master will send the Fallen to bring the summoner in. A nervous Mana confesses that she used a summon to defeat the giant moth and destroy a few mountains. Alira laughs because they know Mana can't summon a spirit as an apprentice. Just then, a fallen figure appears in front of them. Alira summons a djinn and attacks the Fallen. Jake suggests running away, but a lot of Fallen appear and crush the djinn. They run away, and the Fallen chase them. Mana got separated from the others, and the Fallen branded her. The Fallen leave, and Mana blames Jin-kyung. She unconsciously asked for him again and casts a summoning spell. When she thought that it didn't work, something fell from the sky. Surrounded by the Fallen, Jin-kyung appears. Jin-kyung is confused about what is happening. He realizes that it is not a dream after all. Mana screams for help, and Jin-kyung notices the Fallen surrounding her. Jin-kyung thinks it through and concludes that he is super strong in this world. He laughs, ready to fight the Fallen, but they just turn around while dragging Mana. Jin-kyung runs to catch up with them. He worries that he didn't bring bug spray. He notices Mana's forehead, and she explains what is happening. He tries to remove it with sand and by smacking it, but nothing is happening. Jin-kyung spits on it, and the brand fades away. The Fallen suddenly turn around, and one attacks them. Jin-kyung spits on it, and it died. He laughs at how effective his spit was, and the rest of the Fallen disappear. Meanwhile, Jake and Alira are under attack by the Fallen, but they also disappear. Just then, a strong rumbling happens, and the Mountain's master appears. It roars and attacks Jin-kyung and Mana. Jin-kyung lies down on the ground and thinks that it is now hopeless. He remembers having the bug spray before. Just then, he realizes that he's got a wireless mouse with him. He stands up and makes Mana promise him a favor if he kills the Colossus. Mana feels the moronic feeling again, and Jin-kyung starts chanting random magic and removes the battery from his mouse. He throws the wireless mouse, but nothing happens. The Colossus tries to attack them again, but he realizes it won't work without the battery. Just then, a magic attack comes out of the battery. It hits the Colossus, and a lightning field surrounds it. The repetitive lightning strikes kill the mountain's master, and it crumbles. Main exclaims that Jinkyung killed the Colossus. She thanks him and asks what was in Jinkyung's favor. Because it came out of nowhere, he'll tell her next time. Maina is happy that she'll meet him again next time. Maina gives him an A tag. It serves as a link between the summoned spirit and the summoner. Jinkyung returns to his room and fully realizes that everything was real. He wants to brag about it to someone and did it online, but the commenters treat him as a joke. Furious, he uses his bug spray, but of course, nothing will work on Earth. He notices that the can is empty after barely using it. The mouse battery is also depleted. He concludes that it is because he used it in the other world. Meanwhile, Main returns to their camp and discovers Alera's servant, Benny. They both look for Alera and Jake. Maina says that she defeated the Colossus with her summon, but Benny doesn't believe her. Jinkyung, on the other hand, watches an anime series that made him cry and throw away his current anime figure. With his mother's credit card, he searches online for his new favorite character's figure and discovers a special bikini edition. He gets furious at the makers for showing her skin, but he sees a specific comment that made him buy it. Jinkyung's mother got notified that Jinkyung bought something. She wonders what Jinkyung is doing. Jinkyung finishes rewatching an anime series and wonders how Maina is doing. Suddenly his order comes, but because of his social anxiety, he asks the delivery man to leave the package by the door. He dramatically opens the door, and he sees his neighbor. The neighbor watches him embarrassingly go back inside. Meanwhile, Maina and Benny catch up to Alera. Alera and Maina leave Benny behind. Alera introduces Maina to her uncle, the Earl of the territory. He invites her to stay and work. She bathes and eats. She also got new clothes and thinks the Lord is kind. But it seems like there is labor in exchange. She notices others cleaning. Maina finds out that she is wearing a servant's uniform. Meanwhile, Jinkyung reverses course at the side of the figure he ordered. He is also prepared in case he is summoned. In the dining area, his mother tells Jinkyung's father that Jinkyung picked up a delivery on his own. He comments on it, and they finish their meal. He then checks something on his computer. Meanwhile, the Earl saw Maina's efforts and tasked him with cultivating the land and harvesting produce as a farmer. It seems like she needs to work and pay for her food, water, and clothes. She was left alone and tries to move around, but she realizes that it's over for her. Just then, another delivery arrives, ordered by either of his parents. He asks the delivery man to leave it, and he checks this time for his neighbors before going out. The woman sees the parcel and recalls what happened yesterday. She laughs at Jinkyung's creepy and strange behavior. Jinkyung recalls his traumatic experiences and falls unconscious. Later, Jinkyung's father arrives and sees his ordered parcel. Jinkyung's mother informs him that she discovers Jinkyung unconscious in front of the door. He tries to ignore it, but Jinkyung's mother asks him not to overwhelm Jinkyung. Meanwhile, Maina realizes that she is now both a servant and a farmer. She returns to the land assigned to her and discovers demons ruining her fields. She then tries to summon a djinn, but it is so small, like an ant, and immediately disappears. She grabs her hoe and attacks the demons, driving them away. Back at the Earl's mansion, Jake returns with Ronian, a wizard sent by the king. Ronian reports about the demons' attacks and their destination. The king ordered an expedition, and Ronian came to ask for the best summoner. Alera offers assistance. Meanwhile, Maynard is surprised to see her seedlings growing quickly. The small demons return, and she grabs her hoe to drive them away. Just then, the monster's mother appears. It screeches at the same time, the Adag shines and Jinkyung regains energy and teleports to the other world. Maina gets excited, but she sees Jinkyung falling from the skies in an embarrassing pose. Moreover, he lands with weird sounds, making Maina more embarrassed. Jinkyung announces his arrival and sees the monster and Maina cowering. He thought she was attacked. He brings out a lighter and chants a spell, but the monster rushes toward him. Just then, the lighter shines red. Jinkyung rotates his body and slashes the monster's neck. The lighter was transformed into a flame sword. He announces his skill and slices the monster in half. Jinkyung realizes that he feels more at ease in this world. Main got impressed but got mad because her field was also destroyed. Still, she thanks him, and Jin-kyung just notices that Maina is wearing an authentic maid's uniform in a fantasy world. The baby demons cry, and Jin-kyung laughs like a villain. Just then, the demon's father arrives. It screeches and calls out more bird demons. He moves forward, but the lighter is out of fuel. He looks for more items, and a mosquito coil box drops. He lights up the mosquito coil, and he remembers seeing it somewhere. The demon attacks Jin-kyung, but he burns it and activates a terror field, just like the one in Neon Genesis. The flame expands and kills the horde of demon birds, spreading throughout the land. The demons are erased, and Maina asks what happened. Jin-kyung explains that he built the ultimate barrier. The barrier will be gone once the mosquito coil burns out. Jin-kyung asks her why a summoner is farming. He offers to take her home. On their way, Maina is amazed that Jin-kyung can stay so long in her world. He claims that he is not an ordinary spirit. Maina tells him how she is disheartened to continue as a summoner, and Jin-kyung gives her a piece of word advice. He then remembers the favor he asked for before. He asks her to wear his new favorite anime character's micro bikini. Jin-kyung covers his eyes while anticipating Maina, but it looks like he got sent back to Earth, while Maina apologizes from the other side. After a few days, Jin-kyung shouts in frustration at not seeing Maina in a micro bikini. His mother notices how energetic he is. Meanwhile, Maina goes home after farming and Benny joins him. Benny mentions how they are treated as livestock. They are provided with necessities even if they do not have freedom. He mentions how Maina is a summoner and has a chance to become a noble, but Maina claims she doesn't have the talent. Meanwhile, Ronian asks Alira where is the summoner that she promised. She panics and tells him to wait. She regrets not bringing her classmates with her and considers sending any summoner she can think of. Just then, Maina and Benny arrive, and Alira glares at Maina. She then tells her to go away. Meanwhile, Jin-kyung is watching a dramatic scene in his favorite anime and realizes why Maina didn't wear the micro bikini for him. Maina felt chills, and she tried to wear them, but decided to burn them instead. She went outside and noticed Ronian practicing his magic. Maina greets him and Ronian introduces himself. She is amazed to see magic in a wizard. Ronian shows her another type of magic, and she is amazed by it because it looks like fireflies. Ronian explains that this magic is a wide-range meteor spell that can blow away a few mountains. He also shares that he is the best and highest-ranked wizard. He then explains how magic works in a simple way by using mana and imagination. Summoned spirits can use the mana from their world to invoke magic. She then realizes how Jin-kyung uses his abilities. Just then, they notice a bird in the night sky, and it attacks the Earl's mansion. What will happen to Maina? Will Jin-kyung be able to help her again? If you want a part 2 recap of this manhwa, comment down below and make sure to like this video. Subscribe for more content like this, and see you next time.